This is our handwriting worksheet for today. We have the front and we have the back that we need to do. So we are going to begin with the front. And we just watched a video about how to make the uppercase C. So now we're going to practice it. Now, the first thing I want you to do is to put your name on the paper. Go ahead and pause the video and put your name on the paper. And you will also need to get your pencil and your crayons. Since you have your name on your paper, we are ready to begin making our C's. So go ahead and use your pencil for this. What we do is it's very simple. We put our marker, or my marker, your pencil, on the top, on the dot, and all we are doing is we are making a curve. That's it, a curve, kind of like half of a circle. That's all you have to do for the uppercase C. Start on the ceiling so that it's the right size and make a curve that goes around and down to the floor. Start at the dot on the ceiling, make a curve that goes around and down to the floor. Put your pencil on the dot on the ceiling and make a curve that goes around and down to the floor. Put your pencil on the dot on the ceiling and curve all the way to the floor. Now, if you need to pause the video to get the rest of your first line finished, you can do that. Let's look at the second line. Remember, they usually give us boxes to begin with so that we can make sure we make our letters the right size and don't make them so wide that they take up too much room. So put your pencil on the dot and trace the C that's in the box down and around. And remember to hold your paper because mine's trying to move even though I was holding it like this. So I'm going to put my hand flat against it to keep it in place. Now here we do not have uppercase C's that we can trace. We need to start writing them. So put your pencil on the dot and you're going to make a curve. Keep it inside that box. You can come close to the box and curve it around. Put your pencil on the dot and make a curve from the ceiling to the floor. And see how I'm coming close to the side of the box, but I'm not going into the box or out of it. Put your pencil on your dot and curve down to the floor. And see, I was able to make that one a little bit bigger, but I still stayed in my box. Go ahead and finish this line. And when you're finished, you should have the same thing finished that I have. Now, what we're going to do down here is we're going to look at these pictures. And we have a cat, camera, crayons, frog, and cupcake. If it begins with the C sound, the K, we're going to color it. So I want you to color what begins with the C sound. Does the cat begin with the C sound? Cat. Yes, it does. So go ahead and pause the video and color the cat. There is my orange cat. I loved orange kitty cats, so I colored mine orange. Let's look at this next picture. This is a camera. Does camera begin with the K sound that C makes? Yes, it does. And you can color this camera whatever color you want to because a camera is not always black. I'm going to color it a different color than black. But you need to pause the video and you need to color yours. And then when you resume it, once you're finished coloring, you will be able to see what color I did mine as well. Ah, did you see what color I colored my camera? I decided to make mine red because I have a red camera at home. But I made this part that actually takes the picture black. Because if you look at a camera, it usually looks black inside that part. Let's look at the next picture. This is a box of crayons. Crayons. Does that begin with the k sound? Yes, it does. So go ahead and color your box of crayons. And remember, crayons inside of a box are different colors, so don't color them all the same color. There is my box of crayons. Now, let's look at the next picture. The next picture is a frog. Does frog begin with the k sound? No, it doesn't. So we're going to leave it alone. What is this? It is a cupcake. Does cupcake begin with the k? Yes, it does. Go ahead and pause the video and color your cupcake. There is my picture of the cupcake. What does yours look like? What color did you decide to make your cupcake? Okay, go ahead and pause the video if you need to finish this page. And I'm going to go ahead and flip to the back to our lowercase c's. This is our lowercase c. And to make it, we do almost the same thing as the uppercase C, but we begin in a different point because it is a smaller letter. So we are going to start at the dot that's on the dotted line, the doorknob, and we're going to make a little magic C curve down to the floor. Start at the dot, make a little curve from the dotted line doorknob to the floor. And this is our magic C. And the magic C is used to start a lot of letters. So what I want you to do is I want you to trace all of the magic C's in the first line until you get all that I have done finished. So pause the video and do that and then come back and see me. Now we're going to work on the second line. So put your pencil on the dot and trace the small magic C, the lowercase c, but keep it in the box. Remember, we're trying to keep our letters in the box. Now on these, we don't have anything to trace. So we have to make our small c, our magic C, the right size so that it stays in the box. So start on the dot on the doorknob and make a little curve down to the floor. Don't let it fall through the floor because we don't want to fall through the floor. It might hurt itself. And don't let it hang in the air because then it might fall and hit the floor and hurt itself. It needs to start at the doorknob and it needs to set right on the floor. Go ahead and do your lowercase c's, your magic C's, on this second line. And when you get finished, you should be stopped right where I am at. So pause the video and catch up with me. Now we are going to do our last line. So you're going to start at the dotted line doorknob and make a little curve to the floor. And now see, they gave us our dots to begin with, but they did not give us our boxes. So we have to remember in our mind that we are curving the right direction and that we are keeping it the right size so that it doesn't bump into the other letters. Go ahead and do your lowercase c's, or what we call your magic c's. And go ahead and do one over there too. Now over here they did not give you a dot, so you just have to remember to start at that dotted line and make a curve. Thank you for joining me today, and when you get this finished, then you are finished with your C handwriting for today. I hope you have a wonderful day.